Well, hello and good morning once again, everyone. This is Jeff Hooks. I want to welcome you to our Saturday VNI Quick Start training for March 30th, 2019, the last Quick Start training for the month of March. It's an exciting time in the world of VNI. I'm going to do my very best to convey and communicate to all of you some of what's happening in your company. And this is your company. That's something that Bill and Kim Downs consistently communicate as they talk with many of you leaders, emerging leaders, customers on a daily basis. This is your company. And as far as the corporate team, including yours truly serving as your president and COO, we stay up late and get up early, focusing on how to make your life better, how to make the VNI mission more compelling, how to equip and empower you and your team, including your customers, to get what they want out of life in terms of physical health and wellness with the products, including financial wellness in terms of the business model. Now, as always, this training is really focused on helping you and your teams reach your goals with VNI. Whatever your vision is for VNI, whatever your mission is, whatever you want to achieve in terms of financial abundance, time freedom, whatever the motivators are for you in terms of the compelling reasons why you're building your VNI business personally. Our purpose with this Zoom presentation that we do every single Saturday is to help you grow, help you learn, grow, improve, be better equipped to reach your goals. And today's training is no exception. Now, quick leadership tip. From my own experience, one of the things that I've always done for events like this is as the event kicks off, I'll send out last second text messages reminding my key leaders and emerging leaders and even new partners, hey, Quick Start training started, make sure you join us. And sometimes if you'll do that and you'll teach your team to do that, you'll have an extra 2, 3, 4, depending on the size of your organization, extra 10, 15, 20 people plugging into an event. And as you compound that over time, that will make a big difference for you. That'll translate into exponential growth when you execute on that simple strategy every single day, every single week. So we're basically a day and a half left, a little over a day and a half left for the month of March. And oh, by the way, I'm in the Pinecrest Inn in Pinehurst, North Carolina. For those of you that are golfers, you know the name very well. It was built about 100 years ago, and it's very small, very quaint. And I've been working all morning, and then I'm going to humble myself all afternoon on the golf course. And I'm not joking. We're playing a very hard course, and I'm just praying I have enough golf balls to finish the round. But anyway, all right, let's talk about finishing the round. Let's talk about finishing the month of March. What an exciting time, folks, to finish the month strong. And I don't know if as we sit here with a little bit less than 48 hours left in the month, I hope you've reached your goals. I hope you're ahead of your goals. And if not, the month's not over. Don't panic. Don't stress. But make a few follow-up calls. It's amazing what can be done when you laser focus towards the end of the month. In fact, specifically, I'll share with you, we've got a number of partners, brand new partners that literally have come on board in the last 24, 48 hours that are working towards associate manager. That first pin level that's so important, that first incremental step of progress that's so important. We've got partners that are working towards manager. I mean, I'm talking, and as I say this, I'm thinking of specific partners. We've got partners that are working towards executive manager, towards director, towards executive director. And I'll just share with you, Ed and Gina Bender have been working with Ken Nasmith. Nasmith's pushing hard for executive director. He's almost got the volume. We're working on that structure. So I'm not sure he's got a little bit of a stretch, but he's focused and he's having fun with it. That's the key. Have fun as you push for goals. It's not designed to if anything, if you're going to stay awake or get up early, you're doing it out of excitement of working towards a meaningful goal that's important to you, that's going to take you further in the direction that you want to go. And with that will come the benefits of reaching those goals, the rewards, if you will. We also, I'll just let you in on a little secret without giving too much detail right now. We have two leaders that are husband and wife team that are working tirelessly for ambassador. So you talk about a big, beautiful goal. All goals are beautiful. It's no more beautiful than associate manager. But when you keep breaking associate managers and executive managers and directors, rinse and repeat, do the basics, do them often, do them well. What happens is over time, you will be working towards an ambassador goal. And the way you go ambassador is by helping your team reach their goals. So it's really an exciting time. And I just want to, if you're taking notes, just write down, the power of a goal. Goals shape our focus. Goals create excitement. Goals create what I call, and again, I hope you're taking notes, goals create what I call healthy urgency. And there's a difference, healthy urgency. Okay, I always see, for those of you that I've worked with for a while now, I always say urgency is good, panic is bad. Okay, so a healthy urgency is when you're working towards a positive goal, a goal that's going to help others. A goal is, as Bill Downs says, that's focused on contribution. And that's what we're all about with VNI. That's what we want you to get excited about with your personal goals. The power of a goal. Goals focus our focus, if that makes sense. Goals focus our focus. I think about as I've played golf here the last couple of days, work golf, having a good time with some old college friends. I think about the power of focus. When I stand, and if you're part of the sports metaphor, but it's so true. And if you don't golf, just please bear with me. But it's when I stand over that ball, whatever the shot is, if my mindset's right, if I'm focused on a couple simple things based on my limited skill level, and I focus on point of contact at the ball, it's amazing. Every once in a while, I'll be like, wow, I'm a golfer. When I lose focus, when my mind wanders, if a fly lands on my shoulder or I hear a bumblebee buzz in front of me and I'm thinking about that instead of the point of contact, I hit some shots that remind me that golf is a very humbling sport. And the same is true with your VNI business. What we focus on is critical. If we're focusing on where we want to go, what we want to achieve, and how to get there, that's what leaders do. If we're focused on what's wrong, what we're not happy about, what's not working, then all we're doing literally is sabotaging our potential. And I want you to, again, even if you're brand new, this is okay. Typically we focus more on fundamentals, but that's the fundamentals of mindset. Goals shape our focus. And so you want to make sure leaders are always focused on where they want to go and how to get there. People that don't reach their potential are always focused on what's not working and who's to blame. And there's the difference is night and day. You can't necessarily see, it doesn't mean, these individuals in both scenarios aren't good people. And obviously if they're part of the VNI family, we love them, and all of them. But the group, the team, the individuals like I was mentioning that are pushing towards a goal based on it's their goal. It's not somebody imposing their goal, are the ones that are having fun, that have energy. Focus creates energy. It puts your efforts in a certain direction to achieve something that you have determined is important. So that's pretty cool if you think about it that way. You've determined it's important. It's not somebody else imposing their goal on you or their standards on you or their values on you. This is something you're working for yourself and your family. And that's exciting. But pay attention to your mindset. Pay attention to, again, leaders and emerging leaders, and hopefully every single one of you, and you'll lead this by example, and you'll model it by example, and you'll teach your team the power of focus, the power of a goal, to keep your mind where the direction that you're going, as opposed to focusing on back to golf, the bumblebee, or the birds chirping, or the ducks quacking, or anything else that's bouncing around my little old brain, and taking my focus off what I need to be. And here's the key. There are always distractions. There are always distractions. And it's up to us. We have to take responsibility for our mindset. It's up to us to choose what we focus on. Am I going to focus on what I want to achieve and how to make that happen? Or are we going to let all the distractions pull my focus elsewhere and focus on things I'm not happy about and excuses? Okay, so that's the first tip of the day. Finish March strong. And what happens is that'll position you and your team for an amazing April. The beautiful thing about it is so many of you, and as I look at the names of who's plugged in live this morning, you've worked so hard. You're having fun. You're blessing people with the products. You're blessing people by mentoring and coaching them to create a business for their very own, to create a cash flow that can give them and their family some options. And as you're doing that, the momentum you create in March, here's the beautiful thing about it. It's a brand new month, Monday. But the momentum that you create in March carries forward right to a great start for the new month. That's the beautiful thing about this business, when you're doing the right things. And so we want to be focusing on the right things, and then we want to be doing the right things. And that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. So the power of a goal helps us. Sorry, I'm talking with my hands. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands so much today. I'm excited. But the power of a goal gets us to focus on what we want to be focusing on about. I'll say it a different way. It helps us. It puts focus on our focus. Okay. The power of a goal encourages us, inspires us to commit to our commitments, in some cases, to recommit to our commitments. And it creates excitement. It doesn't create stress. So again, remember, we talk about healthy urgency. Healthy urgency is you've set a goal with a timeline, like Ken Nasmus was talking about in our monthly corporate leadership call a week or so back. It creates, you're working towards a goal. You're working towards a deadline. Again, not for stress, but just for achievement. And you always want to tie your goals to a pin rank. Okay, so again, associate manager, executive manager, director, executive director, where you are and whatever that next goal is. Don't make the mistake, which I've done in the past. So for example, with V&I, if you're working towards manager or executive manager, it's okay to think, ambassador or even crown ambassador, and have that as a vision for long term, whether that's 2 years from now, 5 years from now, depending on how hard you want to work. But your laser focus needs to be on that next pin level. Okay. It needs to be based on exactly where your business really is, the size of your customer base, the size of your partner organization, and just embrace that reality and focus on incremental progress. It's something we say almost every week. So for those of you that are brand new, within the V&I culture, we want to encourage you, just like we do, just on the corporate and our partner leaders, focus on progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. In other words, just focus on getting a little bit better today than yesterday, a little bit better tomorrow than today, a little bit better this week than last week, a little bit better this month than last month, a little bit better next month than this month. Okay, you can look at it from every angle. But just, that old saying, an inch is a cinch, you focus on getting a little bit better. And when you do that, when you focus on progress, whether you're brand new or whether you're a seasoned leader with V&I, it takes the pressure off, because you're not going to be perfect. We all know we're not going to be perfect. Lord knows I know I'm not perfect. So I'm not going to say I don't try to be. I focus on getting a little bit better, and I prepare. This call, even though we've done this call for months, I'm getting ready to start. March is my 8th month serving as your president and chief operating officer. But I'm focused every day on trying to be the best version of myself. I read the books, I prepare. Even though I've done a bunch of our quick start trainings, I don't want to lose my notes where I mark my place. But I get up and prepare and write notes for today, based on where the company is, based on where I know, partners are, and kind of what would be the most value. That's something Ed and Gina Bender and I talk about a lot on a lot of these trainings. It's what Bill and Kim and I talk about. It's what I talk about with Craig Fleming at customer care. I'll say, hey, well, what calls have been coming into customer care that I could proactively address on a quick start training? So it's all about incremental progress. And that's what we want with excitement, with authenticity. That's what we want you to get, kind of have as a mindset from a leadership perspective, is just focusing on getting better. Don't try to be perfect. Don't put pressure on yourself to always have the right answer. Just give yourself a break and say, hey, I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna engage today. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna make some mistakes. I'm gonna do some things right. I'm gonna do some things not so right, and I'm gonna build on it tomorrow. And that's the way to do it. And again, it sounds simple, but it's taken me a long time to at 53 years old to get to that point where I'm not afraid to make mistakes. Do I like them? No, but at the end of the day, give yourself some grace, have fun with it. And that's such an important principle with your V&I business, is to make sure you're having fun. Now, all right, so let me get over here to my notes from before. All right, there's two things we talk about pretty much every week. And if we don't, we should every week. And that is the importance of staying plugged in, just like you're doing today. Okay, we talk about staying plugged into the trainings, staying plugged into the Thursday night Zoom presentations, staying plugged into the monthly calls, staying plugged into your upline success coaches. Okay, any trainings that they're doing. Stay plugged in with three-way calls with your, put your upline success coaches to work for you. They are there to help you build and grow. And but they're not going to necessarily beg you, please put me to work. They're going to work with whoever raises their hand. And so that's why it's up to you to take responsibility to leverage that team that's there to help you. And that includes me. I do three-way calls. I do three-way calls almost every single day with partners and certain prospects that are learning about the business, learning about the products. And our whole team does that. Corporate team for the most part as well. Certainly Bill and Kim and I do that. So it's real important to recognize the importance of staying plugged in, as opposed to being a lone ranger, trying to be the end all be all to your business. Now, even though that comes, usually that comes from a very positive place where you want to help your team and you want to support your team. But please hear me on this. Never make yourself the issue in your business. Never make yourself the issue in your business. You want your team to be plugged into the system, and you're part of the system, as opposed to your team being plugged into you and you're the mother hen, mother hen, you get it. And you're the end all be all for your team. You're the lightning rod for every single question. You're the lightning rod for every single issue, every single problem. Let me share with you. You want to have a commitment to service, serving your customers, absolutely, serving your partners, but you are not customer service. Okay, as a company, I assure you, we have invested a lot in terms of capital and infrastructure and people to have a world-class customer care team. So I'm not saying that we don't have a responsibility, and you as partner leaders don't have a responsibility, but you're not supposed to be everything to all people. You have resources available. That includes the customer care team. It includes our corporate team. It includes your upline success coaches. It includes me. You've got a whole team that are part of this system that you're plugged into. And when you realize that, when you really embrace that, again, it takes the pressure off, and it helps you, frees you up to focus on sharing and caring, inviting new people to learn about the V&I products, inviting new people to learn about the V&I business, because you're not responsible for every single question that happens with your customer base and your partners. Okay, does that make sense? So what's the message? The message is stay plugged in, just like you're doing today, and lead by example, and teach your team to do the exact same thing. Teach your team to do the exact same thing. Plug into the system. Okay, every single event we do, we record. Okay, why do we do that? Well, because we know people are busy. All right, and sometimes you can't make every call or every training live. So you can but you can get it through replay. All right, so when we talk about staying plugged into the system, first of all, lead by example. Second of all, know what's coming up so that you can promote that and influence your team to plug in. Okay, so lead by example, but know what's coming up so you can promote and influence your team to stay plugged in as well. All right, so with that in mind, as we wrap up March in the next almost day and a half, let's call it, let's talk about the upcoming week real quick. All right, so Monday night at 8 o'clock, we have our monthly product call. Okay, that's led by our founder and CEO, Bill Downs. It's led by our co-founder and head of research and development, Steve Kushner. It's always one of the most popular calls based on attendance, live attendance, and replay. You don't want to miss that. Plug into that call, 8 o'clock on Monday. Great way to kick off the new month. Great way to kind of relax, learn some things, remind yourself of how amazing our products are, and set the sails for the new month. Tuesday, this coming Tuesday night, 3 days, at 9 o'clock, we have our monthly kickoff call. And we're going to have some things to share with you there that you're going to be pretty excited about. And Thursday night at 9, as always, we have our monthly product and business overview presentation. We had a phenomenal presentation just this past Thursday night, led by our founder and CEO, Bill Downs, led by Ed and Gina Bender. It was an amazing presentation. I had such great feedback. I watched it on replay. And so these are amazing opportunities for you to invite guests and have your team invite guests to learn about the products and learn about the business. So that's Thursday night at 9, as always. And then a week from now, we're going to have a quick start training. So there's lots of live events that are part of our system. This, we don't pull all this together by flipping a coin. This is all part of a mosaic. It's all part of a tapestry that is designed, again, to help you grow your customer base, to help you build and grow your partner team and reach your goals with VNI. So stay plugged in, number one. Number two, do something positive every day to build and grow your VNI business, okay? So number one, stay plugged in. Number two, do something positive every day to build and grow your business, okay? Now, let me say that same thing a different way. Do something positive every day. Do something productive every day. Okay, meaning, let me tell you what doesn't count. Logging into your back office and going through reports. That's great. I mean, you have to do that, especially if you're pushing for a pen level or, and you can do that with a cup of coffee or tea or whatever occasionally. But that's not what I would consider productive. And that's not what Ed and Gina Bender would consider productive. That's not what many of you know is productive. Productive is anything that's going to grow your business, okay? Said differently, anything that's going to attract new customers, anything that's going to attract new partners, anything. So that could be an invitation for somebody to learn about the products or business. It could be an actual presentation where you're sharing the information on the products and the business. It could be a follow-up. It could be a 3-way call where someone's actively looking at the products. They're learning about VNI. They're maybe learning about the business, and they've got questions. So a 3-way call is part of a follow-up. That's beautiful. That's very productive. Okay. Organizing your desk is not. Making a 3-way call with a prospect is. Okay, does that make sense? So do something positive and productive every day to build and grow your business. Now, maybe that's 5 days a week, okay, depending on your goals and your time commitment. Maybe it's 6 days a week. For me, it's 6 days a week. I work 6 days a week. And again, that's the beautiful thing about your VNI business. It's your business. And you can put together the commitment and the time allocation that you choose, but recognize the importance. Let me say this differently: consistency. Okay, do something positive and productive every day to grow your business. Again, customer base and partners. Another way of saying that is be consistent. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is sustained through consistency. It's an amazing dynamic within the VNI model. If you'll do a little bit every day whatever your goals are, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever, 4 days a week, whatever your goals are. And you'll do that every week. That consistency on a part-time basis will create momentum that you won't believe. Ken Nasmith at our Victory Tour events this past week, we had last Thursday, a week ago, we were in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then Saturday, we were in Clemson, South Carolina. And Gina Bender, Ken Nasmith, TJ Dillingham were the hosts. And at the Thursday night Charlotte event, Ken Nasmith's director, working towards executive director, was sharing with everyone that his initial goal with VNI going back to late August of last year was a 15-minute a day commitment. That was it. Because of his job commitments, because of his family priorities, because of his martial arts school and everything else he's got going, three young children. He said, you know what? I'm going to commit 15 minutes a day. And some days he did more, but he always did 15 minutes a day. And that consistency has created a business that's knocking on the door of executive director, folks. And that's part-time in 7 months, 7.5 months. So, that's the power of consistency. So remember those 2 tips, please, 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 and teach and train your team the same. The importance of staying plugged in. You got to lead by example, or there's no moral authority. If you're coaching your team to do something that you're not doing, it's not going to have a lot of power. It's not going to have a lot of influence. Okay, so you got to lead by example, but communicate and influence your team because it's in their best interest in order for them to reach their goals, to stay plugged in and do something positive and productive every single day. Okay. Now I'm going to give you 4 we've got some new folks on the call, on the training today. And I want to give you 4 simple principles that are the key to building your business. Okay. No matter, and this applies to our leaders and emerging leaders as well, of course. The first step, let's just call it 4 steps to success for today's training. The first step is to decide, and I'm going to really drill down on one specific area for the rest of our time. But let me give you the big picture first. The first thing you want to do is decide what you want. Okay? If you're brand new or if you're a leader, you need to have clarity on what is it you want out of your VNI business. Okay? What is it that you want? What is it that you're looking to achieve? What is it that you're looking to create? What is your vision for your VNI business? Why are you building? Why do you want to build your VNI business? Okay, and write it down. I did an onboarding with Denise Blankenship and a new partner, Janine, last week, a few days ago. And that's what we talked about. We talked about having a clear vision of what it is that you want to create and then writing it down. Writing it down so you can review it daily. And you're reminding yourself of what it is that you want and why you began this journey to begin with. And you got to write it down, folks. Decide what you want and write it down. And share that with your upline success coach. Because as a leader, think about it this way: as the sponsor, as the upline success coach, how can you help your partner achieve something that they don't even know what they want to begin with? Okay, so you want to help them get clarity on what they want, why they're, what they want out of their VNI business, and why they're engaging in this journey, this mission with us. Okay. Again, from a leadership standpoint, I'll say it a little bit differently. How can we help somebody get where they want to go if we don't know where they want to go? Think about that. I'm going to say it one more time. Leadership tip. This is worth the price of admission today. The investment of time, which is precious. And as Bill Down says, we're never going to, from a stewardship standpoint, ever take your time for granted. That's why we work hard to make sure we're delivering value, doing the absolute best we can. So I'm going to say that one more time. From a leadership perspective, how can we help one of our partners? How can we help them get where they want to go if we don't know where they want to go? Okay, so if every single one of us today, think about your key partners that you're working with that have a goal for growing their business. The people that are focused on the power of a goal, of moving forward, not the people that are focused on other stuff. We love all of our customers and all of our partners, absolutely. But you pour into people that deserve that focus. Okay, because you can't. Here's the truth: you can't. This is all the truth. You can't drag somebody across the goal line of success, kicking and screaming against their will. You really can't. And so you want to pour into those that are coachable, those that are willing to focus on a goal, a forward-focused goal, instead of talking about what happened 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 9 months ago. Okay, that's the absolute key. That people that are focused on 9 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago, even though we love them, but from a business standpoint, expanding your VNI mission, they're going to pull all your energy, and they're always looking backwards. And so what you want to do is encourage them to look forward, but at the end of the day, they're responsible for what they choose to focus on. And so it doesn't mean we don't love them, but what I'm saying is, from a leadership standpoint, make sure you're focused on people that have a goal. Make sure you're focused on people that aren't looking backwards, making excuses, but that are looking forward and talking about, how can I add customers to the team? How can we bless people, new people today, this week, this month, with the VNI products that need these products? Life-changing products, life-changing business. How do we, those are the kinds of, you can tell where people's focus is by listening to how they talk and listening to what they talk about. And that's an opportunity, again, for leadership. So getting back to the kind of step one, if you will, decide what you want and make sure as a leader that you help your team decide what they want. Help your partners that you're working with have clarity on what they want, okay? And write it down, all right? Write it down, because when you do that, and review it daily, because when you do that, the first time somebody says boo, or the first time somebody says they're going to place a product order and then they disappear and you can't find them for 2 weeks, you're not going to get knocked out of the saddle, because you've got a purpose. You've got clarity on your vision of what you're doing with VNI and why it's important. And you can just, keep circulating and percolating with other new people, and hopefully that individual will come around. But if not, that's okay. Maybe, sometimes life happens. But if you don't, I've found from experience, if you skip this step, this foundational step, this is the mortar between the bricks of the foundation of your business. It's that important. Otherwise, the bricks are just stacked loosely on top of each other and can get knocked over easily. Okay, deciding what you want with clarity and why you're in the business and what your mission is with VNI, and then writing that down and reviewing it consistently, if not every day, at least a couple times a week. That's going to keep you moving forward. It's going to keep you focused forward. The reason a lot of people are negative is they don't even know why they're doing this to begin with. They're kind of bouncing around in the dark with no focus and no purpose. And purpose creates passion. Okay, and it's all connected. So make sure you decide what you want, write it down with clarity, share that with your upline success coaches, and teach your team to do the exact same thing. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two, build a list. Okay, best place to start is your smartphone. Look at your contacts. Think about neighbors, church friends, old high school friends. I mean, sometimes people say, I don't know who to talk to. Look out your window. And I mean this, I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Look out your window, and everyone you see needs our products. Human beings walking around on hind legs, every single person you see needs our products. And so the sky's the limit. And guess what? Most have never heard of VNI. So everyone is who you need to share VNI with. And so you make a list. Don't prejudge. I will give you one quick tip. One of the fastest ways to grow fast, if that's your goal, is to put the products, share VNI with influential, credible people. Now, that doesn't matter what their background is. They could be, a PTA president, a mom who's a PTA president. It could be a pastor. It could be a small business owner in your community. It could be the CEO of a company. It could be, an elder at your church. It could be whatever. But individuals, men and women, that have influence and credibility because of who they are. Character counts. and friends do what friends do. So when you write your contact list down and memorialize it, think about the fact that everyone needs these products. And a large percentage of people are looking for financial opportunity as well. And so here's the key. Your job, our job, is not to sell them and convince them on VNI. Okay? Your job is to share and expose. It's to simply, and I hope you're writing these notes. I know you are, but it's as simple as inviting them to learn about VNI. I love what Ken Nasmith says. He looks at the exposure process as he's sharing VNI with new people as an educational process, not a sales process. Think about that. It's an educational process. And you want to, and I love the word invitation. Invitation. I actually wrote this down. This came to me this morning, and I want to share it with you. I hope, yeah, and again, it's not because it's a play on words, but because I think it'll help the mindset with when you're inviting someone to learn about VNI. Okay, so with an invitation, I want you to think invitation. With an invitation, think conversation, not presentation. So with the invitation, think conversation, not presentation. Does that make sense? Okay, think about it as an engagement. Think about it as you're engaged in a conversation to educate this individual on the amazing VNI products. And if you'll have that mindset, what you say is much easier. The one thing I'm okay with learning phrases. In fact, I'm going to share some with you in the rest of our time together today that could be of value. But I'm not big on straight scripts, because if they're not your words, they're not going to come across as authentic. And I want you to be yourself. I want you to be yourself, the best version of yourself. I want you to be relaxed and conversational. So step one, decide what you want. Step two, build a list. That's an ongoing tool. You're always meeting new people, so you should always be adding to your list. And here's a tip. When individuals say, hey, I've talked to everybody I know, what that's really telling you as a leader, as a coach, is that they're prejudging. Okay, and they're basically kidding themselves. They're playing. They've got a little mental block here. And so you want to get back to thinking that this is reminding that a very important partner, to remind him or her that this is a sorting process, not a convincing process. And that you want to simply invite people to take a look at VNI and learn about the products and learn about the business. Think invitation, not presentation. Think conversation, not presentation. Okay? And again, that mindset should help you. The third step is the actual sharing of VNI. So decide what you want, build a list, share VNI with the people on that list. Okay? And that process, I'm gonna give you 4 words, is invite, share, follow up. Invite, share, follow up. All right, so you're going to invite people to learn about the VNI products and business. You're going to share some information, and you're going to follow up. And here's the key. Again, it's a sorting process, not a convincing process. You're going to use your influence. You're going to communicate with a natural enthusiasm consistent with your personality. But at the end of the day, we're looking for people that are looking for better health physically and better health financially. And so when you recognize that, we're looking for people that are looking, you realize it takes the pressure off. You realize that you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. It's not as much about us as it is about them and the timing in their life. So our job is not to prophesy if somebody's going to be interested in the products or the business. Our job is just to engage. I want you to write this down. Over time, master the pattern of activity. The pattern of activity. Invite, share, follow up. Invite, share, follow up. And just engage in that, folks. That is where, if you want to grow, that is where the activity is. You breaking the zero every month and adding a new customer or a new partner every month based on your goals, and teaching your team to do the same thing. And when you do that, you're going to see your fast start group volume in your back office. You don't need to watch it by watching it, it's not going to magically grow. You focus on what I'm sharing with you right now, and it's going to grow. And that's the key leading indicator in your back office for leaders. Look at your fast start group volume. That's letting you know how many new partners are coming on board. You also want to look at your customer base. That's critical too. But it's all about sharing the VNI products and business with new people on a consistent basis. That's invite, share, follow up. So again, we call that the pattern of activity, pattern of exposure activity. That's what you want to master. Progress, not perfection. I hope you're seeing all the dots connect, and you will over time. So just absorb what you can and relax, and we'll take one step at a time. But that the invitation process, here's what I want to share with you. Okay, so decide what you want, build a list, invite, share, follow up that list. Share and expose VNI with the people on that list. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper there. When you share the products, when you invite people to learn about the products, I want you to think conversation more than presentation. So when you're connecting with people, whether they're new friends, whether they're old friends, neighbors, family, whatever the case is, I'm going to give you 3 little tips that'll kind of help with the mindset and the way that I want you to think. It's much more effective. Think about make a friend, especially if you're meeting somebody new, for example. Make a friend, find a need, transfer the feeling. You write that down. Make a friend, find a need, transfer the feeling. Okay, so let's go through that. Make a friend, what does that mean? That means relationship first. Always be focused on what's in it for them. Okay? And find a need. Again, conversation, asking questions. And I think that's something I really want you to write down. Focus on getting better at asking questions. And that's something I work on consistently, and I got a long way to go. But I'm getting better. Progress, not perfection. Asking questions. So when you're engaging in the conversation, these are not interrogation questions. These are relationship questions. So if I'm talking with you, I'd say, hey, Mary, let me ask you something. Is your health a priority? And of course, they're going to say yes. These are just some ideas I'm going to bounce off of you. So Mary, back to the role play. Mary, is your health a priority? And she's going to more than likely, I hope, say yes. Say, okay, well, do you have a personal wellness plan? Great question. 2 great questions. Is your health a priority? Do you have a personal wellness plan? Now, 9 times out of 10, she's going to say, well, I work out and I take a Centrum, or I see a chiropractor once a month and I try to eat well. Or what she might, in this example, Mary might say, well, what do you mean by a wellness plan? Well, what your health is a priority. What are you doing to protect and preserve that health? What are you doing to maybe even increase your health and your vitality? What's your plan? That's a wonderful door-opening conversation, very non-threatening, it engages. Make a friend, find a need, transfer the feeling. And it'll create an opportunity. Say, listen, again, that you invite people to learn about VNI at the right time, and you choose that. So if you're having a conversation with a contact or friend, or if you specifically called them, say, listen, John, I know you're, there's a different role play. John, listen, I know your health is a priority. I know you work out all the time. I see at Lifetime Fitness, 4 days a week. What else are you doing as far as your wellness plan? Well, I'm doing this. Well, listen, I'd love to grab a cup of coffee with you and bounce a few ideas off of you. I've come across a product line that's backed by clinical research like I've never seen, and I'd love to get your feedback. I'd love to share it with you. Great. Let's get together tomorrow afternoon, or how does your schedule look Thursday? And so that's the invitation. So when you're doing the invitation, that's it. That's obviously an in-person presentation. You could do it through Zoom. You could do it through a phone call. But, there's a million scenarios, but the common thread is I want you to think about relationships first. I want you to think about finding a need. And with the invitation, think about it being a conversation more than a presentation, okay? Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is transferring information. But if you can ask questions to uncover a need, it sets the table. It creates an atmosphere for a really nice discussion. Okay, so there's lots of things you can do. Now, let me give you a business example. Let me think of another name. Steve, hey, this is Jeff. Listen, let me ask you something. You're a businessman. Do you ever explore additional ways to create income? Well, why do you ask? Well, I've come across an amazing wellness company. They're 5 years old. They're doing business all over the U.S. and Canada, but their intellectual property, their wellness products, they've got over 40 peer-reviewed clinical studies on the finished products. I've never seen the kind of science. They're really growing. I look at it as the best kept secret in wellness, and there's some people doing very, very well financially, even on a part-time basis. So let me just ask you, Steve, if I could show you how $130, $200 investment in your health could turn into a couple $1,000s a month residual cash flow, would that be something you'd want to explore? He's either going to say yes or no, and that's okay. So again, progress, not perfection, but that's a perfect example. If I could teach you, and the idea is, 130 in PV kind of positions you for the comp plan. So if I could show you how $130 or $150, $170 investment in your health could turn into a couple $1,000s a month residual cash flow, would that be something you'd want to explore? Okay, and I'm just giving you some ideas. You'll come up with, if you'll put some thought into it, which I know you will, and you practice, you'll come up with some very natural ways for the invitation process. But again, think of it more as a conversation, as an education, more than a presentation. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. There's a lot of other strategies, and as leaders, and by the way, I will tell you, I hope you know that the early bird special, we've got the Empower Share and Grow Pack special. So if you've got prospective new partners that are on the fence, if they order a Share and Grow Pack today or tomorrow, they can get a discount on the Empower conference. I'm going to go back in time all the way to February for the $139 initial early bird special. The rest of the team, you've got the early bird special through tomorrow of $159, which is a significant discount off of the registration price for our conference. But I will tell you that we're going to do some amazing, deep training on at the event. We're going to have some of our top partner leaders training you and your team on key business building principles for customer acquisition and for partner development. And so we're going to go deeper on this topic as well, on the invitation, what to say, how to say it. So that's just another reason out of many to go ahead and get committed, get your conference tickets for the Empower Conference in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 2nd through the 5th. Okay. The fourth, okay, so decide what you want, build a list, invite, share, follow up that list. That's the pattern of activity. Okay. Master the pattern of activity. Do the basics, do them often, do them well. Invite, share, follow up. Invite, share, follow up. The more you do it, the more confident you're going to have, the more relaxed you'll be, the more fun you're going to have. Let's face it, you're getting out of your comfort zone. And that's okay. But remember, you're doing something for people. That's the beautiful thing about the VNI mission. Whether it's the wellness discussion, the physical wellness discussion with the products, and or the financial wellness discussion with the business, you're focused on contribution. Zig Ziglar, I quote him a lot. You can have everything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. So make a friend, find a need. It's about them, not us. It's about helping that individual wherever they are in their life, whatever's important to them. Make a friend, relationship first, find a need, transfer the feeling. What does that mean? That means communicate with authenticity what you've learned about the VNI mission, about the VNI products and the VNI business. Hold your head high and recognize, as Bill Downs always says, it's about contribution. That's what we are about. We're looking for missionaries, not mercenaries. Our partners are committed to helping other people, and they're committed to contribution. Okay, so decide. I'm being repetitive on purpose. Decide what you want. Build a list. Share VNI with the people on that list, and fourth and finally, plug them into the system. If they're a partner, if they're a customer, follow up. Make sure when their product comes that you coach them on the protocol. That I will tell them real quick. That's whether they're a customer or a partner. This will be my last thing, and we'll wrap up. This is so important. Whether they're a customer or a partner, make a note when you've got a new customer or a new partner that's just placed their product order. I want you to follow up with them when their product is, make a note when their product should arrive, add it in your calendar, and text them, call them, follow up. And then encourage them with their protocol. So if they ordered, the big three, if they ordered our Prodivite Brain Reward and Enzorb, then share with them, look, you want to take your Prodivite and Brain Reward on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and then take your Enzorb at night right before you go to bed. All right. Then follow up with them the next day or two. And you can even invite them, say, hey, listen, call me. Let me know how you're doing on the product. I'm going to follow up with you in a day or two and see if you have any questions. Stay close to that new customer and that new partner for a million reasons. And we won't even get into that, but stay close. And give you a perfect example. If, for example, as Bill has coached us, and if they've got anaerobes, bad bacteria, et cetera, in their gut, then when they first take the Prodivite, those anaerobes, that's anaerobe is acidic, aerobic is with oxygen, and so sometimes our customers and partners, they feel a little queasy right when they first take the Prodivite. Well, that's where you need to come in and say, listen, stay the course. Now, if you want to back down to half an ounce for a few days and then build up, but you need to get through this because that's a good thing. It's actually a good thing that your stomach's a little queasy, because the Prodivite is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. But if you don't follow up, guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, man, I can't take this Prodivite because it makes me sick. It can't be good for me. It makes me sick. You follow me? And it's actually doing exactly what the product is. That's the first step of restoring that individual's body to make energy, maintain energy, eliminate waste with our products. So they need to power through that. Hold on a second. I might be talking. I just got a chat. Oh yeah. And as Bill just said, another great coaching suggestion is if they're a little queasy, is for a few days, hold it in their mouth longer. So instead of the 30 to 60 seconds, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, or the longer the better, and rinse it and then spit it out. So it's going to be absorbed, sublingually, which we want to talk about, but it's going to be absorbed through their mouth, and then they can spit it out for a few days, and then maybe go to rinsing it, just rinse longer and then swallow. So you can kind of, tailor it to them. But if you don't follow up, then guess what happens? More than likely, you've lost a customer and partner just because we didn't follow up. So, again, when we talk about how to build a prosperous business with your VNI mission, we talk about it at Thursday night presentations. We talk about use the product every day. This is what I'm going to close with. Share the products and teach others to do the same. Well, what's the foundation for that action plan? The foundation is use the products every day. So there's nothing more important than following up with that brand new customer and that brand new partner when their shipment comes, following up their first day or two of taking the product, and give them whatever coaching or encouragement they need to make sure they commit to at least 90 days every day of taking these products. Everything else will take care of itself. But literally, you've heard it say, some of you that are leaders, you've heard this statement. The fortune is in the follow-up. And so you want to follow up with that brand new customer, that brand new partner. Okay. And that ties into plugging them in the system. That's the first step of plugging them in. Okay. And then for partners, for customers, then you're in good shape. Once you follow up and you can ask for referrals, et cetera. You can always ask for referrals, especially when they're engaged and committed and enjoying the blessings of being on the product. For a partner, then once you've got them taking the product, and this can happen at the same time, promote the next event. The Monday night product call, monthly product call, the Tuesday night monthly kickoff call, the Thursday night product and business overview Zoom presentation. Okay. Get them plugged in. Send them a recording of this quick start training or one of the quick start trainings. I love the from day one, the training that Ed and Gina did. I mean, there's a ton of trainings. So you've got an archive of those that can be working for you 24/7. Okay. And so that's part of plugging that new partner in the system. So one more takeaway: focus on progress, not perfection, one step at a time. Recognize the power of a goal. Okay. Finish March strong based on your goals, and then set the sails for a strong April. Pay attention to what you're focusing on. Make sure you're focusing on forward-thinking, productive activities and not looking backwards at distractions and excuses. That's real important. And then ultimately, when it comes down to our business, it's really as simple as decide what you want, make a list, share VNI with people on that list. Okay. It's about invitation, conversation, and education, and then plug them in the system. Okay. All right, folks, we've covered a lot of ground. Thanks so much. I didn't lose any of you. I appreciate your focus. We are on a very important mission as a VNI family. Let's finish March strong. I've got some great things to share. We all do, but Bill and Steve have put together an amazing monthly product call for 8 o'clock Monday night. So we'll get that communication out. Same number as always. And it's just a great time to be part of the VNI family and VNI mission. So I'm blessed and honored to be on this mission and on this journey with each of you. Have an awesome day and a great weekend. And I'm going to go spray some golf balls. All right. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.